Hello everyone, so I am back with the fourth video of the video series on Class 9 Science, the fundamental unit of life, and in this video we are going to learn in detail about the cytoplasm and the endoplasmic reticulum of a cell. Let's get started.
As I mentioned before, what is cytoplasm? It is the fluid inside the cell enclosed by the plasma membrane. So you remember the example of the ball? So inside the ball, outside you have the plasma membrane, that is the covering. Inside the ball, you have a fluid. So that fluid is known as cytoplasm, right? Okay. So this fluid is little viscous, almost 80% of water. I mean, what is viscous? Viscous means a little sticky. For example, if you see honey, if you take honey and touch it, what do you see? It sticks to your fingers, right? Whereas if you take water, it doesn't stick to your fingers. So the viscosity of honey is much greater than that of water. That is why it is little more sticky. So this fluid, cytoplasm, is also a little viscous, not too much viscous, but it has almost 80% of water. It is also known as cytosol, another name for cytoplasm. So when I say where is the cytoplasm, this entire fluid, so this sky blue colored thing, the entire fluid is the cytoplasm. Many cell organelles are embedded in cytoplasm. So here that you can see it clearly from this picture. So this is your cytoplasm. So the fluid is present everywhere inside the cell, and on this fluid are embedded all other cell organelles. Even the nucleus is also embedded in the cytoplasm. Whether it is nucleus or any other cell organelles here, everything is embedded in cytoplasm. So cytoplasm provides a platform so that other cell organelles can stay over it. So what is the significance of cytoplasm? The first one, it contains dissolved nutrients. Many dissolved nutrients are present in the cytoplasm. See, in order that an organism live, it is necessary that the cells are alive. And for the cells to be alive, they need some nutrients. Those nutrients can be in the form of proteins or water or certain gaseous nutrients like oxygen or carbon dioxide. So they need some nutrients. Now, as I mentioned while I was talking about nucleus also, that they produce ribosomes which contain proteins. Similarly, here in cytoplasm also, they have some dissolved nutrients which help the cell or which support the cell. Dissolves waste products. It is a fluid-like structure. Therefore, let us suppose some waste products are produced in the cell in some of its organelles. So it has the capacity to dissolve the waste products. Organelles embedded in cytoplasm, each performs a specific function without which the cell cannot function as a whole. Absolutely correct, right? Because as I mentioned, in the cytoplasm actually provides a platform where different cell organelles can stay. Now each of these organelles performs a very specific function, right? And if these organelles do not perform that function, then the cell as a whole will not be able to perform a function. If the cell does not perform a function, the living organism as a whole will not be able to perform its functions, right? So the cytoplasm actually helps the organelles to be embedded in it. It controls the shape of the cell to an extent because it is the basic platform on which everything else rests. So if there is no cytoplasm, in that case, I mean, you can imagine it like this. Let us suppose you have a tub of water. On that tub, you keep so many things. Say, let us suppose you keep a small boat, you keep a rubber band, you keep certain things. What will happen? Everything keeps floating on that water and it goes stable, right? Now let us suppose suddenly if you remove the water, then what will happen? The dissolved nutrients will go off, right, in case of the cell. But in that example, if you suddenly take away the water, there might be some, the things will no more float, right? What will happen? Suddenly they might come over each other, right? Sometimes maybe all of them get collected at one place. Sometimes they will get scattered away. So things will become haphazard. But if there is a base, then everything will remain in a stable position. So similarly, if cytoplasm is there, first of all, it has so many advantages, like it provides nutrients, it dissolves waste products, It also controls the shape of the cell, because if it is there, then all the objects are embedded in the cytoplasm at specific position. If cytoplasm is not there, maybe it might happen that all the organelles are on one side. So the shape of the cell might also change because of the cytoplasm. Correct? Because plasma membrane alone do not decide the shape of the cell. Plasma membrane along with the cytoplasm only decides the shape of the cell. It is again the same example of a balloon. When you put water inside a balloon, the more water you put inside the balloon, the shape of the balloon changes, right? So that means the fluid which is contained inside the sphere also determines the shape to an extent. Helps in cellular respiration with the help of cytoplasmic inclusions. So it helps in cellular respiration. So in our previous slide, when we were talking about nucleus, we were talking about cellular reproduction, right? So now when I talk of cytoplasm, I am talking about cellular respiration. So even the cells respire, even the cells breathe in and breathe out. So that happens with the help of cytoplasmic inclusions. What are these cytoplasmic inclusions? In the cytoplasm, there are some non-soluble molecules which are floating in the cytoplasm. So these molecules actually help in respiration. So for breathing in and breathing out, these molecules actually help, and these are known as cytoplasmic inclusions. So we are not going to study about cytoplasmic inclusions in detail right now, but this is just for your knowledge that cytoplasm has this significance as well, right? So since it performs so many functions, so definitely cytoplasm is of great significance to a cell. Now let us talk about the cell organelles. So we have covered the basic parts of a cell, that is the nucleus, the plasma membrane and the cytoplasm. Correct? So now it is time that I talk about the various cell organelles, that means the various components which are present inside the cell, and each of these components performs a specific function. So let us first have a look at what are the different cell organelles. So several cell organelles are suspended in cytoplasm. Each organelle is surrounded by its individual membrane. This happens only in case of eukaryotes, because when I talk of prokaryotes, what happens? We don't even have many of the cell organelles, because in some of the prokaryotic cells, you don't have cell organelles at all. So when you don't have a cell organelle, obviously you are not going to have a membrane. Sometimes you have some of the cell organelles, but then again, they are also not very distinctly seen. They are also not surrounded by specific membranes. But when we talk of eukaryotes, you can see the individual cell organelles surrounded by their respective individual membranes. So let us look at an animal cell. So it is a eukaryotic cell. So here you can see that these are the different cell organelles. This is a cell organelle. Right now I am not telling you the names because I'll introduce it in the next slide. This is one cell organelle. Again, this is another cell organelle. This is another cell organelle, this is another cell organelle. So you can distinctly see the different cell organelles, and each of them are surrounded by their own individual membranes. Similarly, in case of a plant cell also, you can distinctly see the various cell organelles. This is one organelle, this is one organelle, this is one organelle, right? Okay. So let us now see what are the different cell organelles which we will be talking about in the next few slides. The first one is endoplasmic reticulum. So I'm sure all these names are going to be extremely new to you because you are studying all these things for the first time. But I'm sure once you understand these things, and most of the people say that bio is more about memorizing stuffs. Well, I agree to a very small extent that's because there are certain things which has to be memorized. For example, the names. In biology, you have so many names. For example, you have chlamydomonas, you have endoplasmic reticulum, you will have many other typical names which are like not very easy to remember sometimes. So that ways you have to remember certain things. But if you understand it, I don't think that you need to memorize everything. If you are able to understand the actual structure of things, actual function of things, then there is no scope of memorizing things. You can just understand it and then you can go ahead with it. The next one is Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids, and vacuoles. So these are some of the cell organelles which we will be talking about in this lesson. So these are some of the important cell organelles actually, right? So let us start. Now, before we go ahead, we would also like to know where is endoplasmic reticulum located, right? So how I will proceed is that as I start with each of the cell organelle, first I'll talk about what is it, then I'll talk about the structure of that particular cell organelle, then I'll show you where is that cell organelle located in a plant cell and in an animal cell, then I'll tell you the significance of that cell organelle. Fair enough? So I'll follow this pattern for each of these cell organelles. So the first slide, what is endoplasmic reticulum? So it is a complex network of membrane bounded tubules. So it is a tubular like structure. I mean, you can imagine it like this. Let us suppose there are many tube like structures which are joined from ones here and there and they form a network. So that network of tubular like structure is known as endoplasmic reticulum. I mean, its appearance is somewhat like this. They can be tubular or round or oblong structure. So they do not have a specific shape. Sometimes they are round, sometimes they are also tubular, but they always form a network. And of course, they are membrane bound. They are bounded by an individual membrane of its own. Looks different in different cells depending on its function. So as I said, since their shape and size are not very specific, so they look different in different cells depending upon what function they have to perform. When I talk of endoplasmic reticulum, there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. The first one is rough endoplasmic reticulum and the second one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now instead of writing this big name endoplasmic reticulum, we often write it as ER. So that is a short form of endoplasmic reticulum. Therefore, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is often written as SER and the rough endoplasmic reticulum is often written as RER. Now you can remember this name endoplasmic reticulum like this, endoplasmic, that means something which is inside the plasma membrane, correct? So that's how it's endoplasmic. So this is how an endoplasmic reticulum looks like. So here you can see these are the rough endoplasmic, so as I said, tubular like structures. So here you can see this is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and this is rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now I'm sure that you must be wondering what is this entire picture actually. Till now we were looking at cells which were looking quite different. Why is it looking like this? So this is not displaying the entire cell. It is just displaying, it has just magnified the endoplasmic reticulum's picture. So here you can see these are the tube-like structures, some tube-like structures which are forming a network, right? So these are the rough endoplasmic reticulum and these are the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So we will talk about both RER and SER in detail in the next slide. Let us look at the endoplasmic reticulum in an animal cell. So this is an animal cell where we can see the endoplasmic reticulum here. So this is my rough endoplasmic reticulum and this is my smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So where is my rough endoplasmic reticulum? So this region, you see there is a dotted region in light yellow or light brown, whatever you call it. So this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And where is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum? This pink colored structure which is smooth, right? So did you notice a difference? Even in the previous slide and in this slide, the rough endoplasmic reticulum has dotted structure over it, whereas the smooth endoplasmic reticulum has no dotted structure and it is completely smooth, right? So we will see that as we go ahead. So from here, can you locate where the endoplasmic reticulum is located? So if you see, this portion is the nucleus. This is the nucleus. This green colored structure is actually the nucleus, correct? So this dark green structure is the nuclear membrane which has these dotted structures representing the nuclear pores. We have already spoken about all these things, right? So this is the nucleolus. The central blue colored structure is nucleolus. The dark green structure is the nuclear membrane and the dots are the nuclear pores. So just outside the nucleus, somewhere nearby, you have this endoplasmic reticulum, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and a little further you have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So similarly, let us have a look at endoplasmic reticulum in plant cells. So where do you have it in the plant cell? So here you have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So here also somewhere near the nucleus, right? So this is my nucleus, right? So this yellow, dark yellow colored is the nuclear membrane. So just outside the nucleus, somewhere you should have the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So it says it is somewhere here. So somewhere here where you see you have got these dotted structures. So this is rough endoplasmic reticulum. And outside the rough endoplasmic reticulum, somewhere you have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic reticulum is located nearby to nucleus. It is not far away from the nucleus. Now let us talk about rough endoplasmic reticulum. So here again there is another picture of endoplasmic reticulum. So let us look here, what is a rough endoplasmic reticulum? Now, as I said in the very first slide, that the rough endoplasmic reticulum, as the name says, rough. So its surface is not smooth. So over the surface, here you can see this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this portion, this region is rough endoplasmic reticulum. So you can see dotted structure, right? White dots are there. So these white dots are nothing but ribosomes. So ribosomes are present on the surface of this endoplasmic reticulum, because of which the surface gets a rough appearance, and that is why these kind of endoplasmic reticulum are known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Proteins are manufactured in ribosomes. Now, we have also spoken about ribosomes before. What are ribosomes? Remember our discussions on nucleus. I told you that inside the nucleolus, that is inside the nucleolus means this portion, this is the nucleolus, right? So inside this portion ribosomes are formed, and those ribosomes are taken out from the nucleus with the help of the nuclear pores, these nuclear pores. So these ribosomes come out from these nuclear pores, and many ribosomes stick on the surface of this endoplasmic reticulum, which are known as rough endoplasmic reticulums. Now what happens in the ribosomes? Proteins are manufactured in ribosomes. So that means protein formation takes place in ribosomes. So that is the significance of ribosome. That is why somebody who is producing ribosome is also important. Somebody on whose surface ribosome is getting stored, that is also important. And ribosome itself is definitely important because it is manufacturing proteins, and proteins are needed for the survival of the cell. So proteins manufactured in ribosomes and then transported to other parts through endoplasmic reticulum. So that means these ribosomes are attached on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now these ribosomes will produce proteins, and these proteins will be carried to other parts of the cell through the endoplasmic reticulum. So that means these proteins will again be carried out to other parts with the help of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So here you can see this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It has got ribosomes, these blue colored structures, they are known as ribosomes. So ribosomes are present. Now these ribosomes will produce proteins. Okay. So what are proteins? The green colored balls, the green colored small dots, they are representing proteins that are to be transported. So these proteins are transported by both rough endoplasmic reticulum as well as smooth endoplasmic reticulum, right? So from this bigger view of endoplasmic reticulum, it becomes clear why smooth endoplasmic reticulum is so smooth, because of the absence of ribosomes, whereas the rough endoplasmic reticulum is rough due to the presence of ribosomes. Let us now talk about smooth endoplasmic reticulum. No ribosomes attached here. Okay. So where is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum? This portion, that means this structures, they are the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So they do not have any ribosomes. Fat molecules and lipids are manufactured here. So they manufacture fat molecules and lipids. Now fat molecules and lipids, can you guess how will they help the cell? When we were talking about plasma membrane, I told you that the plasma membrane is made up of fats and lipids and proteins, right? So that means the lipids which are produced here, they can also help in the making of plasma membrane, right? Okay, now let us look at the significance of endoplasmic reticulum as a whole. Proteins and lipids are manufactured here. The rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes which manufacture proteins. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum manufactures lipids. And these proteins and lipids which are produced, how do they help? They are used in building the plasma membrane. As I told you, plasma membrane is made up of protein and lipids. They are also used as enzymes and hormones. So these enzymes, how do enzymes and hormones help a body? Now, enzymes help us in many ways. For example, enzymes actively take part in so many chemical reactions which keep taking place inside the body. How do hormones help? You would have seen there are so many traits which come with hormones, right? There are so many things which happen in us because of the hormones present in the body. So, these proteins and lipids are also used as enzymes and hormones. Endoplasmic reticulum acts as a channel to transport materials to different parts of the cell. As I mentioned, the rough endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes which will produce proteins, and these proteins will be carried out to different parts of the cell with the help of endoplasmic reticulum. So it acts as a channel to transport materials. Detoxifies poisons and drugs. Endoplasmic reticulum also detoxifies poisons and drugs. So if some poison or some harmful material enters inside the cell, so endoplasmic reticulum has the capability to detoxify it, to compensate its harmful effects. Right? So we have covered what is endoplasmic reticulum. It is a network of membrane bound tubular structures. Okay, what are the two types of endoplasmic reticulum? Rough and smooth. Why is it called rough endoplasmic reticulum and why is it called smooth endoplasmic reticulum? What is the significance of endoplasmic reticulum as a whole?
Was the video useful? Do let us know in the comment section, and also in the next video we are going to talk about the rest of the cell organelles because we are left with a lot of them. For example, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, plastids, vacuole and many more. So stay tuned and we'll meet very soon.